Hello, my sweet dear magical friends. Welcome, Willkommen to your weekly horoscope and taroscope with me, Natalie, spelled N-A-T-A-L-E-E. In this video, we're going to open up the astrology and collective energy of the week ahead using remote viewing, Western astrological interpretation, and the tarot. I am calling this week bold, fresh, and new because we have a new moon in Aries, we have Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius, and it's a big deal, so let's get into it. Monday, the 20th of March, I am calling Spring Springs because it is the equinox. We have the sun right before they move into Aries, making a sextile over to Pluto and Capricorn. This is going to be great. This is going to be really, really, really good. You're going to like that one. And we also have Venus conjunct in the North Node in Taurus, adding more sweetness to this whole thing. And then the moon is also going to conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So this is a dark moon. We have the sun moving into this bold, bright, beautiful, happy Aries season. Happy birthday to all of the very, very late degree Pisces and the early degree Aries. The sun sextiling over to Pluto. This is combining vision and form. So this is really great for architecting and for putting it together in your mind and in your imagination, how you're going to physically do it or how the thing's going to go. The sun moving into Aries. So I call the sun the highlighter of the zodiac, and whatever sign the sun is in, it's like highlighting that area of your life and the circumstances and, you know, your ego drives, your focus, the accomplishments you want, the ego satisfaction, all of that is highlighted very, very strongly. So when the sun makes an ingress, it's like a new chapter or a new something gets highlighted, like in a book. It's going to highlight an urge for some independence area of your life to pop because it's the sign of Aries. Because Aries is, you know, the child that wants to put on their seatbelt themselves. It's or the Aries dog that holds the leash in its mouth. It wants to walk itself. It's very like, I can do this myself. I'm independent. I want my own money. I want my own job. I want my own vocation. I don't want to be codependent on anyone else. I don't need anyone else. I like to do this. And it feels good for me to have this experience. So I love Aries energy because it's very bright and it's very much open to absorbing information. It's a very intelligent sign. So you will be open to learning a lot. Because Jupiter is also here, I feel like for some of you, you will either be a mentor or you may have a mentor that's going to help you on your process of individuation, or it's going to help you self-actualize in some way, shape, or form, or you may find that you can share something that you know with somebody else and it helps to highlight their individuation. This is going to be such a huge thing, okay? Not only are we going to be getting into Aries season, not only are we having a big changeover with Pluto in Aquarius, but we're also going to have another new moon in Aries, except this one's going to be a total solar eclipse. That one happens on 4/20. You know, so that's going to be fun. Anyway, back to the 20th of March. The highlighter is going to be this sun in Aries, and like I said, because there's also Chiron in Aries and Jupiter in Aries, you know, it's very individual, it's very individualistic. However, there's going to be, you know, healing happening. There's going to need to be some kind of, even if it's not like a mentor, this could even just be like a teacher or, you know, someone or something that is helping you philosophize what independence even means for you. Because the lower side of Aries is sort of like, I want to do it alone. I want to do it, but just for the sake of it, where it's more like a negative ego thing rather than like an honest, forthright assertion of your will. You know, it's not really purified desire, it's more ego. So, you know, be a little bit careful of that because Aries energy can also be very headstrong and it could be a little bit like leaping before you look. And that's why I like to see that there's Jupiter here, because some of you are going to have, you know, a guide or a mentor or an elder, or you might be that person to help someone else to sort of refine how they're going about it, or what they're doing, and or you may be getting that help, and so you may be learning something new on your own and having like additional help and resources to help you do it, help you do it successfully. So just be careful about being the headstrong, sort of hard-headed about it. You don't want to do that. That's going to like spiral you out of control. You really, if some of you do have some kind of additional help or resources in the form of maybe even just reading or learning, or if you do have like an actual person, be wise enough to listen to them. Be wise enough to know that you don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? Because Aries energy can think that, well, I have the desire to be independent, so I am. I have the desire to learn, so I know it. I have the, you know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit like self-awareness is the name of the game with Aries energy. So you want to be as self-aware as possible. Okay. Now, that's not even like the fun part. So the fun part to talk about is Venus conjuncting the North Node in Taurus. Oh my God. Look at this. Look how exciting this is, you guys. So on Monday, it's just okay. So what I'm getting with Venus conjunct the North Node in Taurus. When I was in Germany, I went to, I think it's just called like the Kinothek, Cinematheque. It's just the Museum of Film, and they had an entire section just for Peter Lorre. I love Peter Lorre. I love Sydney Street. I love F.W. Murnau. Like, that's such the vibe. That's so like my mood constantly. Anyway, so to be there, like to turn a corner and just see like all this Peter Lorre stuff was just like, I was just like saturated. I didn't want to blink. It was so cool. It was so cool. It was literally so, so cool. This is like, think about like Grace Kelly, Audrey. This is like you go into a museum quality room or a museum of Audrey Hepburn's famous dresses, Grace Kelly, Jean Tierney, but like a saturation of it. This is like museum quality hunger for beauty, for art, for love, for money and finances, financial wealth, a lot of that, a lot of the good stuff. There's a hunger for it, and there might even be some kind of, I would say, where you get it. Okay, so you're feeling like you're standing in this museum with all of the cool stuff, or surrounded by all of the dresses, surrounded by all of the art and the luxury. So this is even like Taurus, Venus, and Taurus energy. It's funny because I'm wearing velvet, but it's like velvets and fabrics that are really vivid. It's not like plain cotton. It's like something that's really like luscious or even luxurious. It's something very, very nice. It's a great day for the spa. I'm so excited. I'm finally getting my hair done this weekend. Oh, it's gonna be so refreshing. Speaking of like spa day for yourself. So, just enjoy it. So just enjoy this big saturation of whatever that goodness is. Now, the nodes have been in Taurus and Scorpio. The North node's been in Taurus. The South node's been in Scorpio since November 2021, and they're going to shift this year. And the solar eclipse that we have, April the 20th, is going to be in Aries, and that's going to give us our first big burst and preview into the new. What this current cycle from November 2021 until 2023 has been trying to show us is to believe in ourselves, to rely on our own skills, talents, and abilities, and to steer away and let go of codependent situations, toxic codependent attachments to drugs, alcohol, relationships, fears, doubts, insecurities, and anything that makes us feel like we have to like latch on and hold on. If you feel like you're like gripping something and you're afraid of losing it, that's what you've got to flush out. Okay, I'm going to circle back to this because there's some big stuff coming up. I've been talking about this since actually since before November 2021, because I always, preview you guys ahead of time. So we're almost done with this. This is what I'm saying. So you guys, with this Venus conjuncting the North Node in Taurus, there should be some confidence, something giving you confidence. This could actually, for some of you, depending on where this is happening in your life, this could be a feminine asset, a resource, a woman that can serve as, this is either like a confidence booster, like you hire someone that's a wonderful fit for your company, or you meet someone, you start getting to know someone romantically, or you have a daughter or a wife, someone that's really blossoming and shining, and you just are so appreciative of them. So look in that direction, because there could be like a, doesn't have to be like a gene tyranny or something. There could be even just an actual asset that you add to your asset column that turns great profits for you. It's good. It could be really, really good. So, keep an eye out for that. It's going to be lovely. So I love that we're starting the week with such a beautiful, luxurious, nice, comfortable, like vote of confidence. You're going to feel really good about this. You're going to feel like, yeah, I like that. That's pretty. This feels good. This is like, luxurious. So, okay. We also have the moon conjuncting Neptune in the sign of Pisces. Relax, like literally relax. Don't try hard. Do not try hard on Monday. Relax, go at your own pace, keep a light, loose schedule. Don't try hard. If you try to push yourself on Monday, if you try to try hard, you're going to miss a detail. Your attention is not going to be there. Your attention is going to be, thinking about jokes or thinking about, your attention is going to be elsewhere. So unless it's like really the vibe, unless you're actually inspired, just don't try too hard. You're not supposed to try too hard with this moon conjuncting Neptune, seriously. Tuesday, March the 21st, I'm calling this day Passion Prevails. This is the new moon happening in the sign of Aries. Look at Mercury's there, Chiron's there, Jupiter's there, and even Neptune. It's an out of sign conjunction with Neptune. Passion Prevails. This is a preview energy, okay? So the new moon, again, in a very individualistic sign. It's the process of individuation. Don't be hard-headed about this. The dark side of this, because of the Mars configuration, could be very self-sabotaging. It could be very, I would say, stubborn, where it's hard-headed, where it's more about winning. It's more about just getting something, just because just because you're competitive, but there's no end game. It's very short-sighted and it's very temperamental. So you don't want to channel it that way, okay? This is a big warning. Listen, we've got the new moon in Aries. We're going to have this new moon conjuncts Mercury and Neptune. It sextiles Pluto. It squares Mars and Gemini. The total solar eclipse 420 in Aries will conjunct Jupiter in Aries, and it will square Pluto in Aquarius. That's not all. The culminating full moon, so what we're starting now at the solar eclipse culminates at the full moon in Aries at 6 degrees Aries on September the 29th of this year, 6 months from now. It's going to be with Mars conjuncting the South Node in Libra. And that Mars conjuncting the South Node in Libra will oppose Chiron in Aries. So let me put this all together for you. You are making a pivot. You're making a very inspired shift and an inspired change that is supposed to support your process of individuation. And how it will culminate is in a releasing of unhealthy relationship dynamics and unhealthy competition. But this would be like the Mars in Libra South Node is going to be releasing combativeness, releasing competition, releasing angst and any kind of relationship issues that have. This is almost like passive aggressive to me. This is like when people have friends that they're very competitive with, and they're not like really authentically happy for one another, but they don't want to not be friends anymore. They would rather know what the other one's doing and know what's going on in the other's life. just to like one up them or just to sort of like dig at them. And neither one like wants to be the one to call it. Neither one wants to be the one to end this friendship because they don't want like, I don't know, the blame or something. And it's like super, to me, that looks like a waste of time. That's such a waste of time. I almost live streamed this because I want to write, I want to work on my scripts, but I just know that it's going to be better if I do this way. And so, you know, there's that. Anyway, so so the new moon, total solar eclipse, these are some big changes, and you want to see you're doing it no matter what. You're going your own way. You're writing your own ticket. You're making your own path. The way that it culminates does have something to do with changing the relationship structures, changing how you relate, or for some of you, changing how you're doing something with a partner, you and somebody else. So listen, this isn't like everyone's going to break up. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is you have a very strong urge to start something new and bold and fresh for yourself. And that doesn't say anything about the other person, doesn't mean anything about like the relationship or your relationship to other people. This is like very you focused, okay? This new moon, the total solar eclipse next month, it's very U-shaped. This has to be U-shaped. There's no one else that looks like you right now. There's no one else that thinks like you right now. There's no one else that has your perspective and your history of experiences, and that's precious, okay? The way it culminates at the end of September with that full moon opposing Chiron, and this is like where it's sort of, it may be difficult to stand alone because maybe not everyone will support this, or you know, it's sort of like a difficult release and letting go of a way of showing up to relationships or a way of relating. And you know, whatever you're doing now, as it's like you build it over the next 6 months, and then if there are any like hairline fractures in your support systems, in your one-to-one relationships, then that full moon at the end of September could be especially difficult because it might be the moment where there is some kind of shedding. There's just some kind of shedding and releasing and letting go of, you know, it's almost like this would be like if you start something now and the other person or other people, they're sort of supportive, but you're just starting it. This is the thing, like you're just starting it now. These next 2 weeks in April, you're just starting it. So it might be a little easier for people to give you their vote of confidence right now, because you might be saying something like, I'm going to save up all my money and I'm going to move to Germany. And people are like, yeah, great, that's great. But you're going to save your money over the next 6 months, and then at the end of September, when you're like, okay, I'm moving to Germany now, that could be the moment when everyone sees like, oh my god, this is a real thing, they're serious, and it's happening. It's happening now, to be honest. It's happening right now, but people might be a little bit like, oh, you know, let's see if it's like really happening. It's happening. Like it's happening, okay? And that's what I'm saying. Like the end of September could be the moment where people, you know, it might be, it might just show that they're not like really, you know, into it. And that could be kind of painful and hurtful and like all the things. So your passion for your individuation, for what you have to do, for the road less traveled that kind of calls out to you, that's what you want to move forward on. That's what you want to say yes to. And that's like, and if this is calling you, like you are going to be feeling this passion igniting inside of yourself this week, and you're going to go for it no matter what. So for this new moon, I'm going to tell you, explore all of the possibilities and all of the opportunities for happiness, because it doesn't, listen, if you've got great people in your life, and this is happening for 10-year-olds and 64-year-olds and everybody in between, so it's not like this is a big, if you've got already these great people around you, it doesn't mean that there's going to be like a big loss of relationships at the end of September for everyone. Okay, let's say you have great relationships and they're supportive of you starting or doing something new and different, then that full moon at the end of September can just be that there's a karmic entrance of someone new or a karmic occurrence that is from a past life. This could be like if you've got great relationships and you're starting something new with great people and you vetted them and you've got great discernment about you and that's moving forward and you're building this thing over the next 6 months, then it could mean that at the end of September, there's like a warrior that shows up in your life or a warrior spirit that shows up in your life to protect you. And it's almost like there could be something where someone protects you, or not like a martyr, but someone, because of the opposition to Chiron in Aries, it's almost like there could be like a karmic situation playing out where you have like almost like Joan of Arc having personal guards and guardians around her to help her do what she had to do. It's kind of like that. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. So don't, please don't drama, don't run with this. It's like, everyone's got a different group of, friends and family and all that stuff. So, it doesn't have to be some big dramatic, like letting, and okay, so just keep that in mind, that Mars with the South Node in Libra, like I said, could bring some warrior from a past life or some warrior energy from a past life, very karmic, that shows up to maybe even remove an obstacle from your path. And it might be very noble and very admirable that they come through to help you. And it helps to finish and concretize and solidify that process of individuation for you. So someone, this warrior type spirit or person can be coming through, or you might be putting, releasing what you have to release so that that warrior spirit can come through and it finishes some karmic obstacle to really stand firmly in your own selfhood. So it's follow your passion, basically. Passion prevails, Tuesday onward. Also on Tuesday, on the new moon, like I said, it conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, it conjuncts Mercury in Aries. Use your imagination, unlimited. Unlimited. Believe in yourself. Try hard to believe in yourself. You have the passion rumbling, and if you don't believe in yourself, this could be very frustrating because you feel your intuition pulling you towards something, but your fear is holding you back. So it creates a lot of internal dynamic tension. Bringing me to the square to Mars in Gemini. You may have to choose an option, or you may put into action the choice you've already made. You will want to take the road less traveled if it fits you. That's the thing about this new moon, is that it's you-shaped. It's no one else's path. It's like you go through a door and the door closes behind you. And no one else can really go through that door because it's not them shaped. It's not their shaped door. It's that door is just for you, and they have their own door, and that door is just for them, and it's shaped just like them. Okay? It's kind of like that. So, everybody just respect everybody else's timing, individuality, and just focus on your own. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Focus on, this is so like, I'm thinking about this personally for me, because like my films that I write, they're like thriller, biopic, horror. They're scary. But like the pilots that I write, they're comedy. They're funny. They're different. And it's just, I feel personal anecdotal experience. I just feel kind of conflicted because like the last like literary manager type person I talked to, they were like, yeah, if you want to write horror, like the horror genre, if you want to be like the woman that writes horror films, she's like, yeah, there's like a spot for you. That spot really isn't like filled, you know. You think of horror films, like do you think of what women do you think of? You know what I'm saying? So, but on the other hand, like writing comedy, TV, like I don't know if I can do. Can I want to do both? I want to do anything I want to do, but I don't know. Like this is the thing. Like a hero cannot have a split goal. You can't have divided goals. You cannot. This is the thing with the new moon squaring Mars and Gemini gives you two or more options. So, you know, you don't want your hero to have like wanting two different things. It's just it doesn't work. So you may have to choose an option, you may have to choose one or the other, you may have to take the road less traveled. But that's gonna be ours. Like both of them fit me so well. So like I don't know. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, whatever it's gonna be for you, you'll have to like make a decision and you'll have to just, you know, go for it. But you know, but that's also where the passion is. So, you know, whatever's triggering you, whatever's like whatever's getting your go, whatever's getting you excited. And here's the thing, you don't want to be motivated by the wrong thing. Do not be motivated by competition. Do not be motivated by like wanting to tear somebody else down. And this isn't, you know, for you guys, because you guys are all very high vibrational, amazing and excellent people. You may see other people really like pushing forward and all of that because of the wrong motivation, and that'll be more self-sabotaging. Okay, they're going to get an experience that teaches them about themselves, and don't worry about that. So just focus on you and what feels really right for you. Where is your like real passion flowing? You know, I guess for me, I'm just going to take it script by script. That's all I can control. That's all that I can do. Okay, the last thing is the new moon sextile to Pluto and Capricorn. So this fresh new perspective, excuse me, this fresh new passionate path is supported by psychology. Psychologically, you are definitely going to feel like you know, psychologically, you're definitely going to be supported in going for it, like going for the goal, going for like whatever it is that you want to do, going for, you know, especially like I said, Aries is a very bright, like mentally bright energy. So if you are applying your mind, if you're, you know, doing a class, enrolling in something, you have a lot of support there. Or if you're trying to figure something out or trying to plot something out, trying to plan something out, you have a lot of support there. It's very empowering. Wednesday, the 22nd of March, I'm calling it the Spark Speaks. Okay, basically the big thing that happens on Wednesday is the moon conjuncting Jupiter in Aries. This is nice. This is the day that you really want to like work things like you know, well, your inner light may spark and inspiration for your life. You may feel a pull or an urge to go and do something else or to start something new. Don't ignore it. Do not ignore this. Don't ignore this. The spark speaks. And you know, it's very, very bright. It's very loud. It's like bam bam energy. Like Aries energy to me is very like bam bam. Like very, I want it now. My will is the most important thing to me. You know, it's very strong. So you can go ahead and skip to press the timestamp to Thursday. I am going to read Martin Scorsese's open letter to his daughter Francesca. This was so serendipitous because this was published January 8th, 2014 on my birthday. I was really depressed. Now, it doesn't mean anything when I say that because I'm a Capricorn and it's like our baseline state essentially. So like I said, it doesn't like mean anything to say that, but I was like, that's just like the fact of the matter. So when I had my birthday and I saw this and I found this, it changed my life. Like it changed me. And I just pretended like Martin Scorsese wrote it to me, and it really spoke to me. I'm going to read you the letter. This is backing up my statement. The spark speaks. And you can go ahead and skip to Thursday if you don't want to read it. Here we go. Dearest Francesca, I'm writing this letter to you about the future. I'm looking at it through the lens of my world, through the lens of cinema, which has been at the center of that world. For the last few years, I've realized that the idea of cinema that I grew up with, that's there in the movies I've been showing you since you were a child, and that was thriving when I started making pictures, is coming to a close. I'm not referring to the films that have already been made. I'm referring to the ones that are to come. I don't mean to be despairing. I'm not writing these words in a spirit of defeat. On the contrary, I think the future is bright. We always knew that the movies were a business, and that the art of cinema was made possible because it aligned with business conditions. None of us who started in the 60s and 70s had any illusions on that front. We knew that we would have to work hard to protect what we loved. We also knew that we might have to go through some rough periods. And I suppose we realized, on some level, that we might face a time when every inconvenient or unpredictable element in the movie-making process would be minimized, maybe even eliminated. The most unpredictable element of all? Cinema. And the people who make it. I don't want to repeat what has been said and written by so many others before me about all the changes in the business, and I'm heartened by the exceptions to the overall trend in movie making. Wes Anderson, Richard Linklater, David Fincher, Alexander Payne, the Coen brothers, James Gray, Paul Thomas Anderson, are all managing to get pictures made. And Paul not only got The Master made in 70mm, he even got it shown that way in a few cities. Anyone who cares about cinema should be thankful. And I'm also moved by the artists who are continuing to get their pictures made all over the world, in France, in South Korea, in England, in Japan, in Africa. It's getting harder all the time, but they're getting the films done. But I don't think I'm being pessimistic when I say that the art of cinema and the movie business are now at a crossroads. Audiovisual entertainment and what we know as cinema, moving pictures conceived by individuals, appear to be headed in different directions. In the future, you'll probably see less and less of what we recognize as cinema on multiplex screens, and more of it in smaller theaters, online, and, I suppose, in spaces and circumstances that I can't predict. So why is the future so bright? Because, for the very first time in the history of the art form, movies really can be made for very little money. This was unheard of when I was growing up, and extremely low-budget movies have always been the exception rather than the rule. Now it's the reverse. You can get beautiful images with affordable cameras. You can record sound. You can edit and mix and color correct at home. This has all come to pass. But with all the attention paid to the machinery of making movies and to the advances in technology that have led to this revolution in movie making, there is one important thing to remember. The tools don't make the movie. You make the movie. It's freeing to pick up a camera and start shooting, and then put it together with Final Cut Pro. Making a movie, the one you need to make, is something else. There are no shortcuts. If John Cassavetes, my friend and mentor, were alive today, he would certainly be using all the equipment that's available, but he would be saying the same things he always said. You have to be absolutely dedicated to the work. You have to give everything of yourself. And you have to protect the spark of connection that drove you to make the picture in the first place. You have to protect it with your life. In the past, because making movies was so expensive, we had to protect against exhaustion and compromise. In the future, you'll have to steel yourself against something else. The temptation to go with the flow and allow the movie to drift and float away. This isn't just a matter of cinema. There are no shortcuts to anything. I'm not saying that everything has to be difficult. I'm saying that the voice that sparks you is your voice. That's the inner light, as the Quakers put it. That's you. That's the truth. All my love, Dad. Thursday, March the 23rd. I am calling it True Revolution. This is when Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius for a couple of months, and then they will go back into Capricorn, and then they will go into Aquarius for quite many years, quite a long time, at the beginning of next year. So we're going to get a preview of what to expect and of what's to come. Personally, in your life, watch all of my Saturn salons of Saturn in Aquarius. Saturn was in Aquarius from December 2020 until March 2023. That was actually look for that video I did, the Saturn Salon. I think I was talking about the Sun Saturn Cazimi in Aquarius. That I went through all 12 zodiac signs. So that's going to give you a great retrospective of what Saturn in Aquarius was for every zodiac sign. Because if you didn't really like grow up in that area of life, and if you didn't do your due diligence, if you didn't, show up and learn the maturity and the responsibility in that area of life, Pluto is going to. If you thought Saturn was bad, Pluto is going to pull the rug out from underneath us, okay? And it's going to feel like an acid burn. It's going to feel scorching. Whereas Saturn just made this feel very heavy and very responsible. Not for the first year. We had Jupiter also in Aquarius. So from December 2020 to the end of 2021, it was a lot easier. But 2021 had those squares, the Saturn-Uranus squares, and challenged, stress tested those structures in your life. So if you were able to adapt and innovate and grow out of the rigid structures that once supported you, but then turned into like cages, and grew into new ways of feeling secure and adding value to those structures that you have in your life, then you made it. And you're going to have a Pluto and Aquarius energy that is empowering sooner. But if not, if things have broken down and you or people, however it was happening, resisted the changes, resisted the updating, resisted the innovating, then Pluto and Aquarius is going to, it's like a torrent, okay, like a torrent of change, and like you might just feel like the world is going to be turned upside down for you, okay? It's just going to feel like you're going to feel like even more out of control. So it's not going to be that steady long pressure anymore. It's going to be like, whoa, like, like being carried by waves, just being flung around. Okay, so, but let's say that's not you. Let's say that you totally did all of the Saturn things. I do want to say something about the collective, because Saturn and Aquarius stress tested our groups and associations, our family tribes, our work tribes, our friendship tribes, and how we show up. Because, Saturn and Aquarius was all about ego and authenticity. So if you were going along to get along, if you were like keeping the group together because it validated you in some way, shape, or form, not really going to pass. Not really going to pass. There were pressures on your authenticity. There was a lot of that, a lot of things that people were dealing with in different ways and shapes and forms. So if you were able to get really good at being authentic and shaping up that energy in your Aquarius area of life, like I said, Pluto entering Aquarius is going to give you more power sooner. Pluto will give you power and disempower you, depending on where you are and what you need to learn. So collectively, Pluto is actually right now opposite its 1939 position, where it was in 1939. Now it is completely opposing that position. In 1939, Jupiter was also in Aries, and so were the nodes were also in Scorpio and Taurus. So that was a time that people had to release ideas of other of being supported by others, being supported by the government, being supported by, the social construct, letting go of codependent over reliance on what was being stress tested and having to, like on TikTok, all of the recession recipes, that's a very North Node and Taurus thing, is just cultivating a self-sufficiency. And in that, this is it again. So because Pluto is making this opposing energy, it's stress testing the powers and the structures that we've built up since then. So it's sort of like a little reckoning. There's going to be a lot of corruption that happened since then being exposed and being revealed. And for these little months of Pluto and Aquarius, the people will build out our own alternative solutions, independent, without relying on the social construct, without depending on these systems. So we talk about this a lot in Crypto Sesh because we talk about cryptocurrency, we talk about financial literacy. It's a sub-club of TheFirstArteagan. So we have TheFirstArteagan. We have TheFirstArteagan on Patreon. If you want to stimulate my economy, you can help me and give a good karma donation through TheFirstArteagan.com, or you can join the Patreon community, TheFirstArteagan on Patreon, in our Patreon community. And, it's very, very interesting now because of the technological aspect. So here's the thing. My personal suggestion is to not rally around people that are like super complaining or angry or like super critical of like the government and systems, because we already know that they suck. We already know that. So to me, it's like a waste of time to like, to me, I'm more like, let's build the next system and use it. That's what TheFirstArteagan is, okay? We are an international community, a decentralized community of individualists from all over the world, okay? So it's like, don't gripe about stuff. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? So the Pluto in Aquarius is going to empower communities, and whatever the stress testing was happening of Saturn in Aquarius, tribes split up, friendships, marriages, families split up, and new families formed, new communities formed, new friendships and lovers and things formed together because of a shared sense of humanity, because of that kind of affinity. So now Pluto's going to give you the baton to use that power judiciously. Wield your power judiciously. Power is the ability to do something, okay? So it's a preview of the uprising is what it is, okay? Now it's going to be very dependent on, here's what's interesting to me. I'm wondering who's going to be the smartest group. Who's going to be the best organized? Who's going to work together the best? Is it going to be the, I'm really curious. What brings people together? What keeps them together? What empowers them? What makes them work well together? And think of all of the different, it's not just marginalized groups, it's also, the makeup community on TikTok is freaking massive. Like, that's huge. Who has a lot of buying power, who has a lot of influence, who has a lot of leadership ability, who has, you know what I'm saying? So like, there's so many different groups, and I'm just really curious to see who's for I saw this in negotiations for the TV theatrical contracts when I was a SAG-AFTRA officer and I was involved in the negotiations for collective bargaining. So I can see, I have a kind of a unique perspective on people working together. It really seems like the WGA work really well together. I'm not part of the WGA. It's my dream to be part of the Actors Guild, the Writers Guild, and the Directors Guild. That's my like dream, one of my dreams. So, but they seem like they got it together. Like they seem really smart and logical. Like they just seem like they make so much sense. The Actors Guild was, it's sort of like, anyway, I'm not even gonna get this, but the point is that, actually that is a good example. So the Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, they have like, in negotiations, there were like radio artists and dancers, and like there were a lot of different like subgroups. So how 𝚃𝚑𝚎𝚎 is a sub club of the 𝚘𝚑𝚎𝚗. We also have ceremony is a sub club. We have archangel work, which is a sub club. We have, you know, like all these different sub clubs from the 𝚘𝚑𝚗 club. The same thing with like SAG-AFTRA. Even the acronym is a long ass acronym. So, you know, it's like it was a little bit stranger to see them try to work together, whereas I think writers in the WGA are probably so much sharper and so much more aligned and just tight. They just seem really tight. So here we go. Hi. Hello. Oh, she wants the window. She's been loving that window. So anyway, globally, geopolitically, there's going to be uprisings. Expect a lot of very independent groups of people to be funded, to get empowered, and this, you know, hopefully this is not, you know, organizations that want to harm people. Hopefully these are very forward-looking and humanitarian organizations and groups of people. But who's better organized? Who can work together the best? I don't know. Is it a lot of griping in the this community, or a lot of griping in that friend group, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, maybe you have friends that get together and they just drink, and you're like, I don't even like drinking anymore, and like, I don't need. What do you have in common with these people than just drinking? Maybe you've met a new group of friends this year that help bring out an artistic side of you, or you see someone doing something on TikTok and you're like, I want to learn to do that, and you start following them and they teach you how to do it, and you're like, oh my god, I love it so much. You know, it's like, what is it? You know, so figure that out, because Pluto in Aquarius is going to make it come alive for you in that Aquarius area of life. And it's not just people, it's also these themes of authenticity. So if you have been sort of holding on to commitments that you've made because it's been satisfying your ego, Pluto is going to humble you. Okay. Don't be afraid of going through ego deaths. You can survive them. You're going to come right up to the ego death, and you need to go forward. You need to go through it and choose love. That's the end of the ego death, where you choose love over your ego. You will be deceived because you'll feel like you're dying. You will feel like it's you dying, but it's just your ego. You're identifying with the ego, and the ego is attaching to your identity because it wants to survive, but it's a toxic ego, and it's not helping you, it's not really serving you. What the ego, the toxic ego, is actually doing is it's taking who you are away from you. And that's the reward you get when you choose love over ego. You can't have love and ego in the same place at the same time. You can't have them both. You have to choose one or the other. And when you choose love and you go through it, that death process, you keep breathing and you breathe through it. And then you realize that you have yourself back. You have who you really are. Okay? I'm like a 3 or 4 ego death time survivor here. So I've made it to live to tell the tale. It's worth it. Remember that reading. You can't have who I am. When you let the ego make these decisions for you, and when you align with people or groups or jobs or whatever because it's for your ego, you're like selling yourself short. You're giving who you are away to something else. And you sell out to be accepted. And you're paying the price for it, not anybody else. No one's living your life for you. So Saturn made it heavy and burdensome, but Pluto is going to just pull the rug out from under people. So, there's still going to be a lot of time. There's still going to be a lot of time to like realign and to regroup, like literally regroup. Okay. So if something's keeping you from something that's authentically calling out to you, but it's your ego getting in the way or a fear getting in the way, go through your ego death, set it aside, and let yourself have it. Let yourself be authentic. Truth, love, integrity. That's the 𝚃𝚑𝚎𝚗 manifesto. I submitted, I was the youngest person on that committee by like 25 years. I submitted this manifesto to put in the TV theatrical contract. It didn't make it. Anyway, I was ahead of my time. I was ahead of this whole, but now it's all, everything that I'm up. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway, so the groups that have really come together out of authenticity over these last couple of years that are really well organized, they're going to get power. They're going to be empowered. And we're going to see it over the next couple of months. And then really hugely next year for the next like 20 years, 15, 20 years or something like that. So this is the time to move forward and to really, there might even be a sense of urgency to align with these groups or, be your authentic total self with this new moon in Aries and then the solar eclipse in Aries. So like, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Okay. Okay. True revolution. Right on. Friday, the 24th of March. I'm calling it top up. And this is so fun because we have the moon conjuncting. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. The moon, Venus, Uranus. Like, it's very exciting. It's kind of similar to Monday the 20th in a way, in a sense. It's like reactivating it. And it's like more Grace Kelly, more museum quality, luxurious fabrics, more smoothies and health tonics and spa dates and, art, creativity, luxury, good food, good people, good, an asset. Or if it's a woman, this woman's like helping you so much. She's just, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Sorry, she doesn't want to say hi. She just wants to stare at me while I talk to you. But yeah, it's just like a big infusion of that. Circumstances of Friday will shift and flow and change to add a skill, resource, asset, or boost your self-esteem in some way. This is really nice. I love this. It's surprising. This is more surprising and shocking because it's Uranus. Delightful and confidence enhancing. So there's benefits, there's compliments, there's solutions, there's breakthroughs. All my Venus ruled Hierophants and High Priestesses, like I'm thinking specifically of Tauruses. Like Taurus, I have a Taurus rising. He goes to the drive-thru and gets free comps and gets free Starbucks just because. And I'm like, this is you being like ruled by Venus. Like people just like give you stuff. People are just like so nice to you. I'm a Cancer rising. I go through the drive-thru and start apologizing right away, even though I didn't do anything. But I'm just like, I'm sorry, I did that all. You guys just have the magic. You guys are just magical. You guys, so yeah, I don't even know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get something. Okay, people are gonna give you the free comps, the extra, all the sparkles and the sprinkles. So you live it up. You guys, Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You live it up. You enjoy it. Monday and Thursday. Those are your days. Top up. Saturday, the 25th of March. I'm calling it about motherfucking goddamn time. We're celebrating. Say hi. Say hi, Juno. Say hi. This is Juno, goddess wife of Jupiter. Yes. Goddess wife of Jupiter. And she's saying hello. She's helping us celebrate Mars entering the sign of Cancer. So Mars entering the sign of Cancer, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Thank you. Thanks for saying hello. Oh my God, you guys. Seriously, Mars has been in Gemini since August. Oh my God, we made it. We made it, family. We made it. So, hallelujah. I don't even care about all the angry crying and all of the stuff that Mars and Cancer may bring. I don't even care because it's going to be better than a Mars retrograde and Mars in Gemini, okay? So, we did the thing, we reoriented, we switched gears, we changed our perspective, we got clarity, we're taking our action momentum and we're putting it in a new direction. We're changing gears and we know the correct action and how we're going to pour our energy into something moving forward now. But we had to change our minds about it from August until March, and so now we're ready to move forward. Okay, so we'll be much more focused on using our ambitious, action-oriented energy. However, the way that we'll need to accomplish this is going to be sideways. It's going to be very coming at it from the side. That's the Cancer crab, coming at it from the side to side until you get to your end goal is like that's my Cancer pincers, just like that. Okay, so it's not head on. It's not like boom, not like Mars and Aries. This is side to side. So, work towards your goals from the side, find new ways to get at it. Don't, if there's a big wall, you can't climb it, you got to go around it. You got to dig a hole under it. You got to catapult yourself over it. So don't be afraid to think that way. And don't be afraid to take action and to accomplish your ambitions creatively in that sense. This is also heightened intuition of what to do. So even if you're feeling, follow that, because you might logically think, oh, that's very sideways, and that's the point. So your intuition could be very spot on, going at it from the side or creatively. So just like think creatively, okay? Also on Saturday, the moon in Gemini squares Saturn in Pisces. So don't shrink from self-discipline. You might feel maybe some pressure, but it might just be serious. The situation, the circumstances of the day might just call for you to be mature. So don't shrink away from it. A lack of self-discipline is a lack of self-respect. It's a lack of self-appreciation. It's a lack of dignity. Says the Saturn baby with the stellium in Capricorn and the moon and Mercury in Aquarius. Sunday, the 26th of March. I am calling this Speak or Write It Into Existence. This is really nice. We have the moon in Gemini sextiling over to both Jupiter and Mercury in Aries. And here's the thing. On Monday, Mercury and Jupiter will conjunct. So I feel like the Sunday before that is very chatty. It's fun. It's wonderful for brainstorming. It's wonderful for creativity, for joke writing, for any kind of writing, any kind of conversating. And with the sextile over to Jupiter as well, there's a lot of relief. This is very lighthearted. This is really fun. This is very young. Like, this is a very youthful energy. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Very, very youthful. And the first three signs of the zodiac, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, it's very self-oriented. It's very much about the self, the individual, and like just developing you. So, it's very, very fresh. So what I'm trying to say is very fresh, very fresh new baby energy. So, it's just, which means it's also happy. It's optimistic. You haven't even conceived that something could need to be revised or something. This is just, you just write your first draft and you just have so much fun. And then you'll go back and rewrite it. And then you'll go back. Guys, I have been trying to do this project that I wanted to have launched for this new moon in Aries. And see, I have these projects that I work on long term, that I work on a little bit over a long period of time. But then these things come through like MH370 and they just overwhelm my life and I just can't do anything else but indulge my obsession. And then it sets me back for the long-term project. So this isn't ready. I can't launch it. Thank God I haven't been talking about it because that would just be, like womp 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 energy. So, oh, that's what I was saying. I was talking about scripts and I was talking about your first draft. So, but that's the thing. It's like I need to do this MH370 thriller, and just even if it's just going to be the first draft, and that'll sit because now I have another pilot, the anthology pilot. Get that first draft out and let them just cool off, and then but I will go back and I'll rewrite them and I'll make them better and I'll revise them and I'll add and I'll spice it up and I'll dress it up and I'll polish them. But that first um, instinct, that first impulse, that first spark, I need to get out, you know, because it's also really magical when you do go back to revise them because you might see a show and it just changes how you see your story and you go back and make it even better. So, get the first just but that's why you don't judge your first expulsion. You don't judge your first draft. That's how I'm talking, that's my language, but like for you it's something else. So don't judge it, but just like get it out. Like don't be like super hard on yourself and try to make your first thing perfect. Just get like the Gemini energy is about that. The Gemini energy just wants to just take in as many details, share as many details as possible, and then let Sagittarius go and refine them into a polished philosophy. You know what I'm saying? So Sunday feels more like you're preparing a speech, or maybe you're having a conversation or negotiation, or maybe you're putting together some kind of communications related project for Monday, because Monday is the big like Mercury Jupiter, and we'll talk about that next week. But Sunday, I feel like you could be, it's like a draft day and you want to brainstorm and you want to just pitch, you just want to throw ideas out there and then you see what sticks, and then Monday you may have some kind of conversation or something like that. Okay, let's take a look at this week ahead for my people. What do we need to know? Any additional messages from the tarot? So let's just talk a little bit about channeling, because with this Pluto and Aquarius, what I personally would like to do is contribute to the respectability of spirituality and psychic work. Okay, that's why I am so excited for my telekinesis, because it's like a visible, physical proof of psychic ability. So I'll be really excited to do more demos and display more. So follow me on TikTok if you guys want to learn how, and if you want to see the demos. If you want to really learn how, though, either book a session with me, buy the course, sign up for Patreon, be a little bit more like committed to it, because you're going to need a little bit more specificity, and it really will be removing the blockages. Okay, because people are going to have blockages for this kind of a thing. Now, as far as the channeling goes, channeling just means to direct something, direct the flow through another medium, through something else. So for instance, I'm shuffling the cards now and I'm infusing the channeled energy into the cards. The definition, like I said, of channeling, to direct the energy towards a particular end, or in this case, an object. I'm directing it through my hands, the channeled energy through my hands to this tarot deck. Just like advertisers channel money into radio. Okay, so I'm the causing to the current to pass along or through a specified route or medium. Okay. How am I doing this? It's via the subconscious mind, which is 95% of your mind. That's where the magic is. The subconscious mind that sends the energy through the physical body to the right cards. The right cards are going to pop because I'm channeling it through. And I do a whole pre-meditation before I start this. So that's why I'm always going to say, go as you're guided. Go as you're guided. When you go as you're guided or you meditate beforehand, you'll effectively use your body to get the answers. Okay, so that's why tarot works, and that's how tarot works. Tell me about the week ahead for my people. Ooh, watching. Love it. Daddy's home. This is this big boss type person. This is someone that has the power and ability to do something, make a decision, do a thing. This is someone that's very experienced. So I don't really feel like this is someone that's really bossy and arrogant and like, what was I saying? Hard-headed. This is someone that's made and lost fortunes. They've been married and divorced a couple of times. They've gained and lost empires. They've built up businesses, sold them, lost them, went bankrupt, started companies again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that kind of a person. Someone that really seen a thing or two. Oh. Ooh, and the Hierophant. Two major arcanas. Guys, I had some wild dreams this past weekend. I don't know about you guys. I had some wild dreams coming into this Sunday when I'm recording this. Wow. Wild. Do you see these crossed keys? I always think of the Wes Anderson, the Grand Budapest Hotel, of the crossed keys. Like what is it, like the association, just like the association of the crossed keys or something like that. We're going to open this up too. Three of Cups. Ooh, and the Four of Pentacles. Ooh, goodness gracious. I kind of want to stop there. I feel like this is going to be a long video. I feel so chatty. Eight of Wands, bottom of the deck. Speaking of chatty, Nine of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So overall, whoever I'm channeling, and the more you watch me, the more I channel your messages. If you feel or think you're connecting to me, you are. If you feel a connection between us, there is one, okay? And that's not just me. That's tarot readers, okay? Because tarot readers, psychics are very sensitive. That's what it means. I mean, artistic people and creatives are also very sensitive, and you have to be sensitive so that you can get the downloads from above. You have to be sensitive so that you're like, let me just look here. Hold on. Sure, this is like a crop top, so I don't want to. You need to have your spidey senses being very sensitive, like that. You know what I'm saying? To pick up on the vibes that are like, they're going like that. Okay, you gotta be okay. Everything. We're all just oscillating energy grids. All of us, all the time. Okay, I'm not going to get into like collapsible reality and the whole Nobel Prize of 2022, but follow me on TikTok. I talk about all of that stuff over there. So overall, like I'm trying to say, there's some kind of, I would say there's some kind of group or alliance or a project or, see, these three people need to come together to build the cathedral. There's the priest, the monk person, there's the architect, the financier, there's the sculptor, the artisan. It takes all three of them to make that cathedral. So this is really about collaboration and everyone having their own, like, I don't know if it's like a skill or unique ability. Everyone contributes something to the bigger, grander scheme of things, okay? However, there's also like this had to be fought for. This had to be really advocated for. And there's some movement happening. The circumstances are moving forward. This might be like a little pop-up project. This could be even the incorporation of a new corporate shield, a new, structure of corporate structure or business structure, that kind of thing. And it was just something like a hard-won victory. This over here is also very, very social with this Three of Cups energy. It's very much like a solid friend group, or a solid, best friend, or a solid, Three Musketeers, or something's, I like this a lot. This is very, very solid. And this is very committed. This Hierophant energy, very committed. So let's see what's going on. Tell me more, tell me more. Okay, let's take a look at the Emperor. Tell me more. What do we need to know about the Emperor this week, please? Ooh, oh, it's on the floor. Hold on. It's the Eight of Pentacles. I like that, with the Nine of Cups. Very nice. This person's very pleased. This person, the head honcho, the VIP, the person in power, the head of the whatever, they are very pleased. They're very happy. And there's what I like is this Eight of Pentacles. Like, this is kind of like a dream coming true, a wish coming true, but it's because of the quality. This is having high standards for workmanship. So there's an apprentice that's becoming a master. There's, someone working really hard. There's an artist creating there's a shoe cobbler creating the perfect shoe, When I was in Germany, I took my favorite pair of steampunk burgundy boots, thinking that I was so cute, and they had these cobblestone streets in Germany, and my heel broke, and I found a shoe cobbler in Germany to get my boot repaired. This is a different story. It doesn't have anything to do. Anyway, just someone's very happy with quality. It's like having high standards, and someone meets them. Like, how great does that feel to get your standards met? Like, yes, someone has the discipline. Someone has the chutzpah, the oomph, the moxie. Let's take a look at the Hierophant. This is convention. Just by the way, this is convention in terms of, so this is like the outer form of religion. This is like standing up, sitting down, kneeling. This is people seeing you go to church or synagogue or mosque or whatever. It's the societal. I was gonna say social, but then I guess my brain just changed it and said societal, like society. So, but this is that. This is that. So let's take a look. What does this have to do with anything? Why is it different here? Oh, it's strength, and it's the Knight of Swords. This is almost like needing to practice some kind of patience. Or maybe you've had to practice patience. This almost feels like not letting the cat out of the bag before. Okay, thank you. She's saying it's protocol. She's saying it's protocol. Like, you've got to follow protocol. I'm like, ah. Okay, what is this Three of Cups and the Four of Pentacles? Come on, I have a script to write. Okay, thank you. It's the Knight of Wands. So I like it. I like the speed. I like the speed of things. Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. Very, let's get the party started. Let's get the show on the road, you know? And this is nice. This is like, this almost feels like you make friends that you're going to have for a lifetime with the Four of Pentacles. You know, it's like fast friends that just, this is like you meet someone and you immediately feel comfortable with them. Like you can just be yourself, you know, or you're not like, you know, I exaggerate to make the point. So, but it's like you can just like, you know what? Okay, you know what I'm saying. You can just be yourself. You can just be yourself. You can just be yourself. You just, it's easy. Easy to get along. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. This looks great. This honestly looks really great. Yeah. All right, let's get your divine feather. Any other guidance? So my astrologer was saying, she's like, Natalie, why do you write such gruesome things? You should try comedy. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And like, here I am now. Like, it makes perfect sense now. The flicker, bottom of the deck, new rhythms are coming into your life now. You are encouraged to trust and adapt. This is a big thing with the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio since November 2021 is to trust. Trust and adapt. And don't be codependent and fear-based and paranoid and possessive. Okay? New rhythms are coming into your life now. You are encouraged to trust and adapt. Oh, and you have these two poppers too. You have the white eagle. The connection to divine guidance is within you. Connection to divine guidance is within you. And you have the white swan. Sorry, it just said like white and white, and I was like, guys, I was mistaken this week for two things that I'm not. Someone thought that I was Caucasian from the mountains of the Caucasus, and someone thought I was 24, and neither of those things are true. I don't know when I started passing, but it's very, very strange. It's very, let's keep it real. I'm indigenous. I'm indigenous. I'm an indigenous person. Indigenous. I'm wild, okay? I can trace my father's lineage back to, I believe it's 1754. 1754. And on the birth certificate, the parents were like savages or something. Or, okay, like I am indigenous. Indigenous. Central American indigenous. Okay? And I'm not 24. I feel like I'm finally catching up to how old and crusty I feel in my grinchy little Capricorn. That's why I write so darkly. Why am I rambling? I need to talk to more people so I don't ramble to you guys. I do feel like people that are introverts do a lot better on the internet because we save it all up for and then it just comes out like this, you know. But I feel like we just like connect very organically. I mean, at least I do, with like a camera lens more than like people, you know. Like, think about it, that puts a lot of pressure on where you physically live, or like if you physically go to school, to just like get along and make best friends, and like it all just like happens so easily. Like, that's, nowadays we can literally connect with people all over the world, where it's so much easier to find your people, so long as you broadcast an authentic vibe and you really are yourself. Anyway, the white swan, the power of divine grace is within you. So more trusting yourself, more just trust yourself, go with your flow, follow your intuition, and let it lead you to wonderful places, because you are channeling, you're channeling. So you have an inspiration, you have an attraction, you have an intuitive feeling. You're feeling it, and now you're needing to direct it. This is why I'm so passionate about self-mastery, and this is why I'm so happy that Saturn in Aquarius brought me a telekinesis, psychokinesis breakthrough, because I worked so hard my entire life practicing the wrong way, and then finally figuring out practicing the right way from the end of 2020 until it literally didn't have the breakthrough for like 3 years. But I worked hard. So whatever you worked hard at in that Aquarius area of life, you've gotten it. You got your rewards. And you will have that with you the rest of your life. Congrats to all of us. And now Pluto's going to come through Aquarius and give it more power. So let's watch, follow me on TikTok. Let's see what happens. I love you guys. Take very good care. I will check in on you guys Thursday. Until then, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings.